During this season of life, Sagittarius, community is what will guide you back home to yourself. Okay. Outside of you doing what you need to do to come back home to your heart and your soul, community is going to be one of the other important aspects that guides you back home to yourself. Okay. And this is the message that's coming through for day 26 of tapping into miracles and magic. All right. The magician is acknowledging that you are an outgoing, happy-go-lucky, charismatic individual, right? Who knows how to use their charm to influence others. Yes. But you also know how to use your charm in order to ensure that the community's needs are met and taken care of, okay? You have a skill set, Sagittarius, that you are supposed to use in order to support and uplift your community, right? You are in a space where finding or creating that community for yourself and for others, right, is a top priority. So the theme of community is very prevalent and present during this reading. Okay. And that's what the magician is wanting you to hear is that, yes, you have all these tools available to you, but it keeps coming back to this reminder, Sagittarius, that you are not to use these tools that you have available to you for selfish reasons, that you are to use these tools and the skill set that you have in order to gain for yourself, yes, but also it's for the good of humanity. It's for the good of your community. It's for the good of your bloodline. Okay. And the first card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message today is the Justice card. And through the Justice card, the magician is asking you, Sagittarius, are the decisions that you've made lately decisions that you made without considering how they might have an effect on the people around you? Okay. What if taking a step back isn't just for your own good, but it's for the good of the whole? These are questions that you need to sit with and consider. Okay. Taking a step back does not mean that you aren't able to move forward, Sagittarius. It simply means that you move forward in a way that is considerate of those that you are in community with right now. Okay, because you have been heavily focused over the last couple of years on this idea of connecting with individuals who think like you, who believe what you believe, who, talk like you talk, who are into the things that you are into. And while that is important, it's also important for you to remember to be considerate of where you are right now and of the ones that you are surrounded by right now, right? It doesn't mean that you neglect yourself. It doesn't mean that you give up on the desires that you have to move forward. It just means that you really start to pay more attention to your actions and how they're not only having an effect on you, but they're also having an effect on the people around you, okay? Because you will end up, Sagittarius, where you desire to be, but you are needing to reflect to identify whether or not rushing the process in your mind is causing you to neglect what you are responsible for in the present moment. And the second card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message today is the Six of Cups. Okay. And through the Six of Cups, the magician is encouraging you to share your joy. Sagittarius, share your joy, okay? Because sharing in joy with others is how you preserve the well-being of the community. There's so much going on in the world. There's so much going on in individual lives, right? But when we share and joy with each other, that's how we preserve our well-being. And so you have a tendency, Sagittarius, to hoard your joy, to keep it to yourself. You don't want to share it with others, right? Because you're afraid that it won't be sustained or that something will come in and taint it, right? Because you've experienced that in the past. You've experienced people that you know and love coming in and stomping all over your joy, right? But you are well aware of how to protect yourself energetically, emotionally, and mentally, Sagittarius, right? So that fear of your joy being tainted by people around you who struggled with sustaining their own joy, that fear belongs to your wounded self. Okay. So maybe you need to have a conversation with your inner child, right? Maybe you need to go within and ask your inner child what steps you need to take in order to ensure that you are protecting yourself in the name of fear and not love. Because remember, over the last couple of readings, we've talked about knocking those walls down. Life cannot get in as long as you have the walls up, as long as you have the barriers up, right? And this is a part of the reason why you keep those walls up. Because again, this fear of other people coming in and stealing your joy. But no one can steal your joy, Sagittarius. No one can steal it because you're responsible for it. You are the mature, responsible adult in your life now. And you decide whether or not someone is able to take it away, right? And if someone is able to take it away, Sagittarius, then that means you just need to have an even deeper conversation with yourself about your power, about your identity, about the thoughts that you have about yourself and who you are, right? So there's lots of contemplation and reflection that can take place right now based off this reading. The last card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message is the Four of Wands. Okay. And through the Four of Wands, it's just simply reiterating this message of the importance of community. Okay. And allowing joy to be the centerpiece that the community is built around, right? Community Sagittarius doesn't mean 100 people. You may have people that are close to you right now, and there may be seeming like, you're at odds or like there's tension. So the message right now is really more about it's more about the importance of community and allowing joy to be the centerpiece that community is built around. So it's really all about Sagittarius, you finding common ground. It's really all about you finding common ground, stepping outside of your mind, stepping outside of the illusions, letting go of the mental interpretations, letting go of the stories so that you can find common ground with the people that you are currently surrounded by. Okay. You are used to struggle. You are used to drama and pain being the focal point of community. You've witnessed the way that bitterness, lack, and fear have been at the root of some connections, right? But you, Sagittarius, are here to write a new story. So instead of being afraid of sharing your joy, you need to allow yourself to serve as a witness that living a life of joy is possible, right? You are here to honor love and how it has the ability to heal and restore communities. Now, something that's being noted is that you can't rescue or convince others, but you can remain true to your heart and to your soul. And as you do, that will lead you to communities that reflect your soul's desires and values. And the bonus card that we have coming through to wrap up the message for day 26 is the Ten of Coins. Okay. And through the Ten of Coins, the magician wants you to hear, Sagittarius, that tapping into miracles and magic will not bring as much joy and pleasure for you unless you are doing it for the good of the whole. Okay, you need to remember that you are moving through this process of healing and unlearning and expanding so that you can leave behind a different kind of legacy, Sagittarius, okay? A legacy that is rooted in and sustained by the type of riches that cannot be quantified. Okay, that is the message for day 26 of Tapping into Miracles and Magic. Definitely let me know in the comments if this may have resonated with you. I do want to invite you to join me for the Archer's Reiki Circle, which is a weekly offering that I host specifically for the Sagittarius community. The next session is Sunday, March 29th. If you want to join that, you can send me a message and I will send you the link so that you can sign up. I appreciate you so much for being here with me, and I love you even more.